I think the difference in 1965 and today, there were a number of differences. One was that slot machines weren't featured yet in 1965. They really started in downtown Las Vegas and spread to the Strip later. But on the Strip in 1965, most of the action in the casino was on the table game side. And in 1965, we didn't have lady dealers. In fact, in 1971, when we opened the Union Plaza, my dad said he was going to start with all lady dealers. And that was the first time that they were a lot of lady dealers. We had had them at the El Dorado and Henderson, and they made very good dealers. And when that happened, my dad came to Las Vegas as a dealer. So the dealers, the men dealers, were kind of up in arms. They said, "You're taking our jobs away." You know, the old story, ladies belong at home taking care of the kids in the house. But he said, no, it's the right thing to do, so we did that. Well, I think there were two things. He knew that ladies were good dealers, and we had a lot of nice-looking ladies, and the men flocked in because they had never seen lady dealers before.
So there was a novelty to it.
It was a novelty, and there was on-the-job training, so they weren't very good dealers at the start, and the men were able to take a little advantage of that. But within several months, they became very good dealers, and the men were still coming. So it worked out very, very well. My goodness, I got calls, my dad got calls, and they went, "Are you guys out of your minds? I mean, well, you're going to go broke. You're going to lose the California, you're going to lose the El Dorado. You can't possibly make it out there in the middle of nowhere." And that was exactly what said. In fact, an interesting story, about 4 months after we opened, I got a call from one of those naysayers, and he said, "You know, Bill, I've been to Sam's Town 4 times now, and it's always packed. Do you have any stock available?" And I was very happy to say no stock was available. But we were busy at Sam's Town from the day we opened. I think generally gaming was not thought of in those early days like it is today as a respected industry. I would say that a lot of people thought, well, if you're in the gaming business, you're a little shiftless and irresponsible and not really serious. You know, banks wouldn't loan money in those early days. So it was much different than it is today in the sense that we weren't really thought of as a legitimate industry yet. I think the people that come to mind are on the Strip was Mo Dalitz, so-called member of the mob, who was very well known and gave a lot back to the community philanthropically. He was very, very active. And downtown, Benny Binion was very, very well known downtown because they would take a bet on just for about any amount of money. But I think the person that was really more that I remember as more responsible was Perry Thomas, who founded it was Bank of Las Vegas originally and turned into Valley Bank of Nevada, because Perry Thomas made the first loans to the industry. And the reason that the mob got into Las Vegas early was because banks wouldn't loan money. And the only place that people could get money when they ran out of money was from the mob. But Perry changed that in the sense that he started to loan to the local casinos, hotel casinos, and that really had a dramatic impact on the growth of Las Vegas. I think there's more and more all the time that people realize that giving back is something that, if you're successful in a city, that you need to do. I think the thing that denotes the really what a person has done in their life is giving back, and I think that's something that those that can afford to do it should be willing to do. Nevada legalized gaming in 1931, and then Atlantic City in 1978. And I think in those days we didn't think about other states legalizing gaming because it wasn't thought to be such a great thing to be in for a solid citizen. And finally in 1993, all of the states, many of the states, I should say, from Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, they all started to legalize gaming, and I don't think anybody could have foreseen that that would happen. Steve Wynn was the guy that really got us started, because when he opened the Mirage in 1993, that was the beginning of really the mega resorts. I remember that those of us in the industry said he could never make it because he had his expenses were $1 million a day that he had to make. And everybody said, oh, that's impossible. Well, he showed us, and he was right on again. And without that start, it probably would have been a number of years later before we would have gotten to where we are today. Dynamic. That would be the word that I think would be the thing that the only word that I could think of that would tell a lot about our industry today.